JR Shinjuku Station has 1.58 million passengers per day. This is not only the number one in Japan, but also the number one in the world. Combining the Keio, Odakyu, Tokyo Metro, and Toei subway lines, Shinjuku Station receives 3.5 million passengers per day, which is recognized by the Guinness Book of World Records as the largest number in the world. Including Seibu Shinjuku Station and Shinjuku Nishiguchi Station, which are connected by underground passages, the number of users is actually 3.77 million, which is comparable to the population of Yokohama City and Shizuoka Prefecture. It's the same as all Shizuoka residents spending a day concentrating around Shinjuku Station. Today, I'd like to introduce you to this station, which is always crowded with people no matter where you walk. This is the east exit of the station, in front of Studio Alta, a famous meeting place. It is also famous for the huge 3D calico cat that lives there. Speaking of Studio Alta, from 1982 to 2014, the national daytime program Waratte Itomo, It's Okay to Laugh, was recorded publicly in the studio on the 7th floor. Can you come tomorrow? Sure, was the standard interaction in the guest corner. In the early days, it seems that there were times when he was refused by the other party, he didn't answer the phone, and he mistakenly called an ordinary person. Shinjuku 3-chome, located east of the station, is the largest downtown area in Japan. At the center of this is Shinjuku Isetan. It is the head office of Isetan and boasts the highest sales in Japan. Other specialty shops and restaurants are also densely packed, and the flow of people never stops regardless of the time of day or night. Despite its prosperity, Shinjuku Station had humble beginnings. There was the first station building of Shinjuku Station at the position of Lumine Est that you can see now. At that time, about 50 people got on and off a day. Compared to today's 3.7 million people, it's like dust. The name of Shinjuku comes from Naito Shinjuku, which was a post town on the Koshu Highway in the Edo period. Naito comes from Naito Kiyonari, who served Tokugawa Ieyasu. In 1590, when Toyotomi Hideyoshi ordered Ieyasu to enter the Kanto region after the Hojo clan was destroyed, Naito Kiyonari led a gun corps and entered Edo first to guard against the remnant of Hojo clan. They set up camps near present-day Shinjuku 2-chome, where the Koshu Kaido and the Kamakura Kaido intersect. Recognized for this achievement, Kiyonari was granted the surrounding area. Ieyasu said that he would give a range where a horse could run in one breath, so Kiyonari rode on a horse and ran through Yotsuya in the east, Yoyogi in the west, Setagaya in the south, and Okubo in the north. After that, the horse collapsed and died. In this way, the Naito family acquired a vast territory. In the Edo period, the 5 highways were developed starting from Nihonbashi. One of them was the Koshu Highway, which led to Kofu, now Yamanashi Prefecture, but the distance to Takaido, the first post town, was too long, and travelers were forced to experience inconvenience. Eventually, a resting place for horses and riders was spontaneously created near present-day Shinjuku 2-chome, and it came to be called Naito-juku. After that, Takamatsu Kahei, the head of the village, and others requested the shogunate to open an official post town. In 1698, an official post town was opened using the Naito family residence, and it came to be called Naito Shinjuku. It means Naito New Post Town. This is the beginning of the place name of Shinjuku. The Koshu Highway is the current National Route 20, the road below this. If you go all the way west, you will reach Yamanashi Prefecture via Hachioji. From Naito Shinjuku, the Ome Highway also diverged. It is now Route 4. This turning point was called Oiwake. Along with Shinagawa, Itabashi, and Senju, Naito Shinjuku developed into one of the 4 great post towns of Edo. At the same time, an official brotherhood called Okabasho also prospered. In the Meiji period, the new government abolished the post town system. Naito Shinjuku, which had prospered, fell into disrepair. The dilapidated samurai residence of the Naito family was purchased by the Ministry of Finance and used as a test site for inspecting animals and plants brought in from abroad. This is the beginning of Shinjuku Gyoen. After all, it was the railroad that brought change to Shinjuku, which had become desolate. In 1885, Meiji 18th, Nippon Railway opened a line from Shinagawa to Akabane, and this station opened. This line later developed into the Yamanote Line. However, the station was not built in the center of Naito Shinjuku, but in a quiet area on the western outskirts. The original station building was located at the current location of the Lumine Esto East Exit, but it was a wooden structure with 1 ticket gate and 2-car trains with only 3 trains per day. The station is surrounded by thickets and fields, and there's also a ranch nearby, and there's a record that a fox was run over on the station premises. There was only a tea house in front of the station, and 50 passengers a day used the station. There was almost no use on rainy days. At that time, there was little understanding of railways, and they thought that it would be a problem to have such a mysterious object come, so a station was not built in the center of the old post town. It was the same in Shinagawa. Shinjuku itself was not part of Tokyo city limits and was just a rural station on the outskirts of Tokyo. In 1889, the Kobu Railway opened between Shinjuku and Hachioji. This later developed into the Chuo Line. Oh, I didn't understand right away because I'm in the Ikoka culture. This is a Suica penguin. Just outside the New South Ticket Gate is Suica's Penguin Square, where you can see the train from the deck and a wonderful view spread out. In 1915, the Keio line entered the station. As Shinjuku became a terminal station, the city gradually developed around the station. However, it was the Great Kanto earthquake of 1923 that triggered the full-fledged growth of Shinjuku as a major entertainment district. While downtown areas such as Ginza and Asakusa were devastated, the Musashino Plateau, where Shinjuku was located, had little damage due to its solid ground. Therefore, after the earthquake, the number of people who moved from the city center to the suburbs increased rapidly. As a result, Shinjuku developed into a new downtown area along with Shibuya and Ikebukuro. In 1925, a new story reinforced concrete station building was completed. In 1927, Odakyu entered the line and Shinjuku became heavily congested with transfers from private railway lines. The number of passengers continued to increase, and in 1927, 4 years after the earthquake, the number of passengers per day reached the top in Japan. Isetan opened in 1933, and the east exit of Shinjuku Station has grown into one of Tokyo's leading downtown areas. Nakamuraya's Curry, Takano Shoten's Fruits, movie theaters, and theaters such as Shinkabukiza, Teitoza, Moulin Rouge, and cafes were lined up and crowded. Shinjuku was already a big downtown area before the war. At the end of the war, Tokyo was exposed to the air raids, and the area around Shinjuku Station became a burned field. After the war, a black market such as Lucky Street was formed in front of the station. They disappeared by around 1950 and were converged in places such as Omoide Yokocho. Even after the war, Shinjuku survived and revived strongly due to its good location. Retail stores also reopened one after another, and the shopping district became more lively than before the war. Through the 1960s, department stores such as Marui, Odakyu, and Keio opened one after another, and the entertainment industry, such as movie theaters, became busier than before the war. During the high economic growth period, the suburbs of Tokyo expanded to the west, and Shinjuku Station, along with Shibuya and Ikebukuro, began to play a role as a transfer station for people living in suburban residential areas to commute to the city center. This is the west exit of the station. Keio Department Store and Odakyu Department Store are directly connected to the station. Political parties and organizations often make public speeches in this area. The taxi stand is underground, but the approach road to it is very artistic and cool. There used to be 19 highway bus stops scattered around the west exit area, but most of them were abolished with the completion of Buster Shinjuku in 2016. Buster Shinjuku is the largest bus terminal in Japan. If you walk straight from the west exit for about 10 minutes, you will arrive at the Tokyo Metropolitan Government buildings, but you can't see the splendid twin towers of the building. Tokyo Modo Gakuen's super unique form serves as a landmark for the west exit of Shinjuku. In any case, a large office district spreads out on the west side. Small izakaya with red lanterns are densely packed, and the atmosphere of the Showa period remains strong. Ome Street, Yasukuni Street, and Otakibashi Street intersect at the large guard intersection, which is particularly crowded at night. Needless to say, Shinjuku Tsuchome, which spreads northeast of the large guard intersection, is known as Kabukicho. Also known as Gay Town, it is Japan's largest entertainment district. If you trace the roots of Shinjuku Tsuchome, it is the red light district that runs the prostitution business, and before that it was the Shinjuku prostitution town, and before that it was the Okabasho of Naito Shinjuku. The tradition of post towns in the Edo period continues in this way. Someone is watching. Since Shinjuku has a different development background for each district, such as downtown areas, entertainment district, and business district, there were few passages that efficiently connect each area, and the lack of mobility around the station was an issue. In 2020, JR Shinjuku Station's east-west free passage was installed, making it much easier to get around. You can go smoothly like a migratory fish. The wall of this passage is very long vision, and a big wave occurs. Until the end of the 1960s, Shinjuku was a youth town. Many young people gathered at cafes such as jazz cafes and singing voice cafes. 1969 was the year when the student movement was at its peak. The anti-Vietnam War folk song rally held in the West Exit Underground Plaza was forcibly disbanded by the police, after which the Shinjuku West Exit anti-war folk guerrilla incident occurred, in which young people and riot police violently clashed. On October 21st, International Anti-War Day, demonstrators broke into the train tracks at Shinjuku Station. After that, the West Exit Square was considered a passageway, and gatherings could not be held. In the 1970s, young people stopped talking about politics, stopped gathering in Shinjuku, and started gathering in fashionable Shibuya. The west exit of the station was less developed than the east exit. When the Yodobashi water purification plant was closed in 1965, large-scale redevelopment was carried out on the site. By the way, the camera shop in Yodobashi later became Yodobashi Camera. Starting with the opening of the Keio Plaza Hotel in 1971, skyscrapers began to be built one after another, and in 1991, the Tokyo Metropolitan Government Office moved from Marunouchi to Nishi Shinjuku. Currently, the area has developed into a large-scale office district with skyscrapers. Currently, the Shinjuku Grand Terminal project is underway, and further improvement in mobility and integrated large-scale redevelopment around the station are underway. There are plans to rebuild the Odakyu department store at the west exit and Lumine Esto at the east exit into super high-rise twin towers with a height of 260 meters, and install a deck that connects the east and west above the railroad tracks. Shinjuku is also famous as a tourist destination, and according to a survey by the Japanese government, it has been the top tourist destination for inbound tourists since 2004. It's true that there are many foreigners. In the second half, let's take a closer look inside the ticket gate. JR Shinjuku Station has 8 platforms and 16 tracks. From platform 1 side, Saikyo Line, Narita Express, Chuo Line, and Yamanote Line line up. The Saikyo Line and Shonan Shinjuku Line run on the Yamanote Freight Line, and all trains stop. On the Chuo Main Line, limited express trains bound for Kofu Station and Matsumoto Station also arrive and depart. Platform 1 to 6 are located further south than the other platforms. In particular, the 5th and 6th Narita Express platform is located further south than the other platforms, and almost all of this platform is located in Shibuya Ward, south of the Koshu Highway. The north end of this platform is roughly the same as the south end of platforms 7 and 8. Furthermore, the south end of platform 5 and 6 is only about 100 meters away from the north end of the platform of Yoyogi Station, the next station, and it seems that you can hear the departure melody of Yoyogi Station. Well, that's why it's necessary to travel a considerable distance to get to platform 5 and 6, so the station staff make elaborate posters to keep them from getting bored. This is a paper cutout. When you start paper cutting, you become addicted to it. Tobu Railway's limited express trains Nikko, Kinugawa, Spezia Nikko, and Spezia Kinugawa run through this station. Furthermore, from 2019, trains of Sagami Railway can also be seen. In the past, JR trains enter the platform of the Odakyu line. It's a sight that can be seen in Kansai, where JR and private railways are proudly crossing each other. Is it like a Kintetsu train coming into Tennoji Station? No, it's impossible. JR East has asked Yamaha to develop a departure melody. In 1989, departure melody was introduced on a trial basis at this station and Shibuya Station. This was because electronic bells were irritating and annoying. The departure melody was the sound of the piano, harp, marimba, etc., with the addition of bells, the babbling of a river, and the chirping of birds. Sound is important, isn't it? I think that the introduction of the departure melody has relieved the stress of passengers considerably. When I was a child, what I hated most about railways was the loud joint noise. There were also several incidents at the Shinjuku Station that caused a stir in society. On August 19, 1980, a homeless man threw burning newspapers and a bucket of gasoline through the rear door of a Keio bus that was stopped at platform 20 of the West Exit bus terminal. The fire spread instantly, killing 6 people and injuring 14 others. The perpetrator was found to be mentally weak and was sentenced to life imprisonment. On May 5, 1995, Oum Shinrikyo attempted a terrorist attack by installing a production gas generator in the underground toilet of a train station. At this time, the device was discovered by cleaning crews and was disposed of by station staff before it was gassed. Thank you very much for the station staff. I have reviewed the history of Shinjuku, and you can see that it has consistently prospered except for the early Meiji period and just after the war. It's amazing that Shinjuku continues to prosper even as times change and people's values change. And it's unbelievable that it's been the #1 in Japan for such a long time. After all, it is located on the edge of the Musashino Plateau, in the middle between the suburbs and the city center, and the good location of being a key transportation hub makes Shinjuku what it is. Shinjuku is scary. The rush hour at Shinjuku Station occurs 5 times a day. Morning commuter rush, pre-noon shopping rush, evening commuter rush, last train rush when drunk people jump at the last minute, first rush for young people who have been playing until morning. This is the story that symbolizes Shinjuku Station, which is always crowded with people at any time of the day or night. In addition to being a business district, it also has Japan's largest downtown entertainment district. In addition, it connects central Tokyo with many bedroom towns in Tama, Kanagawa, and Saitama, and functions as a huge transfer station. As a result, users are uninterrupted all day long. Shinjuku Station boasts the world's largest number of passengers, but Shibuya Station is actually the second largest station in the world. Third place is Ikebukuro, and the fourth place is Osaka. 17 of the top 20 stations are Japanese stations. The reason for this is that in addition to the highly developed railway network, Japan's railway technology is at a high level. There are few delays and troubles, even if the schedule is overcrowded. There are so many people, and even with a 3-minute timetable, they are able to operate according to schedule. I think the good manners of the passengers also contribute. Some people are weird, but basically everyone is obedient. Good story.